Everybody talks about a glow up like it's a skincare routine or a new beauty tutorial that just hit the market. But what I'm learning at 21 is that a real glow up is rebuilding your identity. I'm currently living at home in my guest house in my Kia era, and I'm starting from zero in a lot more ways than one. This is exactly where I am becoming her. 5 things that I've completely started doing in my life to make me more efficient with my everyday tasks, but also to make me more efficient in the way I think. For starters, would be these 5 things. They're the top things that I would prioritize over everything else. The first one being, a lot of people know it as the 10-minute rule. I call this the 5-minute rule. I take 5 minutes to start something. The brain absolutely hates starting something, especially for me, where procrastination is quite literally going to be the death of me. What I do is I take 5 minutes at putting my effort and intention into something, but I start it for 5 minutes. Because once that 5-minute marker hits, boom, immediately my momentum starts kicking into overdrive and I just want to finish it all the way through. This is what I do when I need things to get done in a timely manner. Kind of like today, how I have a lot of filming and a lot of editing and then also a lot of planning to do. So being able to check off everything on my to-do list all begins with the 5-minute starting time. The second thing that I prioritize more than anything is removing friction. When I say this, a lot of people typically think, okay, removing friction basically means removing the things that are a little bit more difficult for me. I think of removing friction as removing the things that truly antagonize who I am, removing the things that I hate or I find myself feeling just drained of after a long period of time. A great example of removing friction in my life would simply be removing a couple of people in my life, whether this be old friends, old employers, old partnerships, no matter what it may be, cutting everything out of my life that truly is just a headache or a nuisance, simply because I have way more other things that demand my attention. So removing the things that are a thorn in my side, that's what I mean by removing friction. And I know a lot of people typically say, well, you can't have heat, you can't have movement without friction, you can't have resistance, blah, blah, blah. Does not matter. I want to be the most efficient type of person in my life that I can be, and I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. But I can't do that when I have constant friction pulling me in every which way. So being able to get a clear head, a level head, and just taking those thorns, throwing them out the window, that's what I did. Now for the third thing, which is probably my most favorite, dressing well even when I'm at home. If you know me in person or you know me just as a person, I love dressing up. I love being a fashionista. I love pulling clothes together. My closet is way more full than it probably should be, so time for some winter cleaning. But one thing that has completely elevated my thought process, believe it or not, is dressing well even in my comfort zone. Because when I put on nice clothes, my alter ego taps on. I become a different person. I become the person I want to become. I start speaking more intuitively. I start acting with more direction in my life. Being able to bring that presence and bring that confidence into my solitude, into my comfort area, that is one hill I will stand on till the day I die. Great example, even right now, I have jewelry on, rings, bracelets, watch, earrings. I have a button up that I absolutely love, and then I have my Aritzia trousers on. Just things that make me feel whole and make me feel complete, make me feel like I can do more. Being able to pull myself out of whatever comfort into being more efficient and more effective with my time. And I've noticed that if I look the part, I play the part. So why not do it even at home? Another thing, this might be a little bit woo-woo, but this is identity before habits, which is typically flipped around, and if you have consistent habits, that then becomes your identity, which is very true. But this is the idea of act like the person you want to become. Mel Robbins, we know and we love her. Act like the person you want to become. Being able to mentally say, I am X, Y, and Z person, therefore I do X, Y, and Z things. Being able to adopt that principle, adopt that mindset into my every living being, the identity before the habits. Because if I show up as someone who says I'm a runner, who says I get things done, who acts on those things that I say I'm going to get done, those are the few things off the top of my head. I then start putting in the effort of being that type of person that I identify with. and those habits slowly start building themselves without so much effort. So, keeping my identity at the forefront before my habits and knowing that my circumstances do not shape my identity. My bank account does not shape my identity. My identity is who I very much well believe that I am and how I show up each and every day. And finally, number 5. This is a very quick video, but cutting overstimulation. I used to do this back when I was first starting my business journey or learning entrepreneurship or started networking more, traveling more, and that was cutting overstimulation. It is so easy to be overstimulated, especially when you're someone like me and you consume caffeine on the daily, i.e. Alani Nu, but removing all factors of overstimulation from my life. This kind of goes back to what I said in number 2 as far as cutting friction out of my life, but cutting overstimulation. I say this with a whole heart because a lot of you are actually caught in this trap without realizing it. This right here will be the death of you. Everybody in generations before us, they were right. It really is that dang phone. But how I cut my overstimulation was I took time where I didn't do a full social media detox, but I removed certain apps that were not benefiting me, or I removed subscriptions that I didn't feel like I need anymore, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, just things that were taking my attention when I could have been doing something better. I love reading, but I would read in the mornings and then watch TV at night. I had to cut that off entirely. And it wasn't because that I was abusing it. It's just I felt like I was overstimulated when I woke up in the morning because I was staring at blue light at night. That's not what I want to do, and that's not who I want to be. I would rather go to bed after reading a book instead of after watching TV. I mean, every now and then is fine. But for me, and it may be different for you, everybody is different, so you have to find what works for you. But for me personally, I had to cut those things off. I had to leave my laptop and my phones in different rooms because they were taking so much away from me and my time. So removing the overstimulation and removing the friction are directly correlated, and they do go hand in hand. But being able to put that at the forefront of what I was trying to achieve, that's how I ended up pulling myself out of the little funk I was in before. So all in all, none of this is motivation. The majority of this is all discipline, but I like to think of it as soft discipline, more feminine discipline. But soft discipline is not about forcing yourself into a role you're pretending to be or you're going to pretend to take on for the rest of your life. It's about supporting the version of yourself that you are becoming. Now, none of these habits are dramatic, but with daily consistency, each of these habits are going to shape the person and the version of myself that I am becoming. Like, I'm serious. None of this looks life-changing. None of this is anything new. None of this is different from what anybody else is telling you. This is just my version, my story, my journey that I want to share with you guys. That hopefully this will be able to shine a light on maybe what some of you guys are doing in your everyday lives. Little things that maybe you can adjust or we can do together, just so that way we can consistently become a better version of ourselves. I'm not doing this journey for nothing. I want to do this with you guys. So please leave a comment down below if any of this resonated with you, or maybe different types of tips and tricks or habits that you're doing or shifting in your everyday life that maybe I can try out as well. I'd love to hear feedback, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down to my channel below. I will leave a link in the description for my socials, which I am a little bit more active on, but from there, I hope that every single one of you guys has the most amazing day ever, and then I'm going to do a lot more of these series, a lot more of these videos, especially since this is a new journey for me, and I want to share it with you guys. So, hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your weekend. Love you. Bye!